Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Wedding Film School Show. Again, here joined in studio, Jason McCutcheon, my business partner, friend, and co-host.
Yes.
Jay, how we doing?
Very good. And today's episode is brought to you by Second Society. Head over to secondsociety.io and you can get second shooters. You could become a second shooter if you want. You could become a third shooter maybe even a first shooter. Who knows what the person wants to hire you to shoot. You could do it by signing up for Second Society or get someone to do it for you by going there. And we know in our industry, it's a bit of a hard time. It can be tricky to find reliable people who have good experience, and you can look at their work. You can do all this stuff. And of course, you can see if they are referred or well reviewed by others. And it's just a needed thing. So head over secondsociety.io and do those things that I mentioned.
Jay, what speed do you think most people listen to our podcast at? Is it 1x speed, 1.5? Like, where
I think that most people listen to things at 1. I think rabid podcasters are all 2x.
Yeah.
I'm not a rabid podcaster, so I would never listen to a podcast at 2.
Yeah, I don't know if we talk fast or slow. I feel like I talk fast, but usually I hear it back and I'm like, I have this like slow drawl.
You talk wicked slow.
Yeah.
I talk fast.
Yeah. So it's a weird thing. Like
I'm like a.
They probably have to listen to it at like maybe 1.25. That's what I would guess.
I would say no idea. Respond in the comments below, guys. What speed do you listen to our podcast?
Yeah. Anyways, today we have a great topic that we've been fleshing out a little bit ourselves, and just like what's important to our different brands, and that's the idea of editorial style shooting versus documentarian style wedding filmmaking. And so we're going to dive into the differences between the two. And if you're a beginner or if you are a veteran wedding filmmaker, maybe some things that you can add to your repertoire, or if you're just starting out, what your approach maybe should be. I think the concept that we talk about today will hopefully help you flesh out the pros and cons there. So Jay, why don't we kind of first just describe the two different styles. And then, also I think it's important to mention, there's also a little bit of flex. There's a little bit of a spectrum in between.
Sure.
Able to do both,
I would think it's like all things, most people, maybe not no one, but no one really finds themselves directly on one side or the other.
Yeah.
But
so just describe editorial style shooting first.
I would say editorial, if you don't know, it's based off magazines, basically. Fashion, shooting models. And what was the point of the model? The point of the model is to sell something. Like, of course, there are people who just like shoot at portraiture, and it's just like people are the product, like just whatever. But most of the time, it's like, oh, they're showing off a dress, or they're, and you want them to look as beautiful as possible, and they're professional models. But I think in weddings, to me, editorial typically means like the presence of the camera with the subject is a known thing. Like most of what you're shooting, a lot of what you're shooting, at least a lot of what you're showing, is posed. The person's doing it for your camera. Versus, in my opinion, documentary style is your camera is there documenting what is happening. If it's a pose, fine. But a lot of times it's about what you try to curate as you're shooting, which is like, I would say it this way. Whatever one that if you didn't have it, you couldn't make a film, that's the type of filmmaker you are. Like if you have a 4-minute film or a highlight and you're like, oh my God, I got nobody gave me like blue steel at the camera. My film is ruined. Versus like, oh, all I have is these dumb portraits. I don't have any real moments, or like, I think like, obviously it's weddings, so you have to have real moments, I think, right?
I would think so.
But in general, I think that's just,
especially with the way that we shoot, I feel very strongly that documenting is pretty important.
I would say also just with what we shoot, which is weddings, like the actual, there's like a moral side to it, I think. There's like substantive, like what is the value of what we do to the human race, kind of, and like documenting people and making covenants and having families beginning and relationships and people's humanity, I think is a net positive for the world. I don't really think it makes the world a better place to shoot people's vanity.
Well, yeah. To backtrack on editorial stuff a little bit, like I think a huge component of editorial stuff is just having complete control
Yes.
over the set, right? And when you're shooting, maybe you have that. In a lot of cases, I don't think you do have that, or you have to create that space, right? You have to like create the elbow room of like, if I'm going to create what I create because I'm Jason McCutcheon or Jared Haskell or have this brand who people know me as the editorial person, you have to carve it out, set the expectations pretty early to make sure that you have that space, or be willing to have fights with the photographer and the planner and everyone else who's involved who wants the couple's time on the wedding day. But the reward is
make sure you very, very well coach your couples about what to expect. Right. That I think is the biggest thing.
The reward for doing that is very high.
Beauty.
Because you have beautiful imagery that people love. And at the end of the day, editorial is all about sales, right? It's about selling, usually selling a product.
Selling a product.
We always call it like editorial sales, perfume commercials, right? There's no substance to it necessarily. Maybe there's some representation. Well,
I remember, I say that, I don't know if they're still like this, but when I was a kid, right, I remember all these perfume commercials that have like a celebrity or some model, and they'd be like laying down and like water would splash on their face. And it's exactly like that Zoolander thing where he's like, water is the essence of wetness. And
yeah.
Like, or whatever he says. And you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
What am I watching? But ultimately you're just like, it's pretty. And it works apparently, like you remember those Elizabeth Taylor perfume commercials or whatever, and she would like at the end be like Liz by Diamonds or something. I think a lot of it sold a product,
right? And in a lot of cases, even those like the weirdness of it, a lot of times it's representative of a concept or an idea.
Yeah, it's
of
supposed to be like
luxury or beauty or elegance or whatever it is. To me, it's like, well, what would you rather have? Would you rather have the representation, which is just eye candy and this thing? That's I guess artistic.
It's
maybe.
An abstraction.
Abstraction.
It's like, is a wedding an abstraction or a concrete?
Well, no. Would you rather have that?
Yes.
Or would you rather have a real, authentic, organic moment that matters? Like, and a lot of it comes down to like what I think the clientele wants, because you have a lot of people who want something that has literally zero substance, but maybe is like artistic and beautiful.
Even if it has substance, but even if it's like maybe they're really artsy and they're like, we want our wedding to feel like water.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we want to like lay in,
sure.
like they're just,
and that's
like,
what feels good to them.
Yeah,
sure.
it's like they don't want the concreteness of the day. They want an abstract concept of the day.
There's also the vanity side.
There's a big LA like like we gotta. It's so funny when I hear and I don't care if you want to get it published in Vogue like or Brides or wherever. Like it's important to us too. So we like it. We're all for it. You want to let's submit to Vogue. All of our couples, you want to let's inundate Vogue with our submissions.
Yeah.
But when somebody's like, the most exciting thing about their wedding is we're submitting this to Vogue.
Right.
That's a type of person.
It's a type of person, and there's an audience for it. Like I'll say it. Like Vogue will most likely want to publish that, because what do they care about how couples actually feel about each other and real love and whatever? Vogue is all about selling magazines, guys. Like that's what they care
dresses.
about. Yeah. So
they're about their sponsors.
The unfortunate thing about this whole conversation, very clearly, I'm very biased towards like I like the way that we film, which is like much more documentarian, because I think it's authentic and real, and that's the direction most of people are going anyways.
When you're done saying this, I'm going to tell you why I think you like it.
Okay. But I think when it's unfortunate that most filmmakers want to go this like artistic editorial style way, because it's like actually getting away from something that I think is real and true and like honest,
actually,
which is romance and family. And like, these are the things that I think just don't go out of style. Like Vogue and editorial style shooting, you see it is kind of going out of style in favor of Instagram, TikTok-y, content creator.
Even look at the Bezos wedding.
Stuff.
How many celebrities are like, ew, even about the Bezos wedding?
Who did Bezos hire as a wedding filmmaker?
I don't think, did he hire anyone?
I don't think he hired anyone. You know why? Because there's a million paparazzi people. there.
Yeah, why would he
doing it.
bother?
Why does he bother? He doesn't care about an
No,
artistic
I'm going to
wedding
tell you
film.
guys why I think Jared likes this. And it's not a good reason. Jared is very empathetic. He's very emotional. He's also a little bit of a people pleaser and good at sales. And Jared reads a room very well. And Jared is smart enough to know. And if you guys just take the L or take the W when you can take the W. If someone else can learn something for you, just take it. When Jared walks into a room and he's with this person, he can sense they don't want me to interrupt them. If everyone, because this is what I think about you, Jared. If every couple we met, if you got a sense that they wanted us to do what you don't currently want to do, you would start to want to do it.
Yeah.
Because you would be saying, well, couples really want this.
Sure.
And I really think this is why we've arrived at the decision we've arrived at. So this is not to say what style is better or worse. It's to say, like, there's a bit of a financial reason, but also a human reason, which is we've been to enough weddings to get a sense of what someone wants and what's the vibe is. And we've been to enough weddings where, like, the dad has I'm doing 2 straight weddings where Alzheimer's is involved. These days are going to be unpredictable. And what they're sensitive about is, like, their dad or mom's, like, dementia, or, like, and some people are like, show everything, and some people are, oh, hide it. And we've done people where their weddings, like, the mom's on the deathbed, and they're like, there's a lot of things happening at weddings, high emotion, and the more I try to insert myself into that, the more I am affecting the day in a possibly negative way. Mm-hmm. And I think for Jared, and I know for me too, like, in us, it's not that we don't like directing people. We love shooting editorial and corporate work. We do it. We work with models. We do a great job. You can look at some of our stuff where we have models, and we can prove it to you. But we've done enough weddings to know that the people involved, the days are unpredictable. And not only that, like, read a room, and, like, if someone's, like, having a dance party with their bridesmaids, I would rather let them have that moment than stop that in the middle of it and say, hey, guys, could you all face me now?
Yeah.
You just ruined that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you ruined that moment.
Yep.
They have a first look.
It suddenly goes from this real moment to being like, okay, we have to put on a face and make sure that we're performing, right?
Yeah. Like, I'm
And
not
that's
saying I
too
wouldn't.
bad.
Yeah, I'm not saying,
Because
like,
it's never the same.
no.
You can always tell, too. The couple can tell. Any viewer can tell. Like, you can tell a real moment from a fake moment a mile away. Especially
Well,
with
I'm
people
thinking
who aren't
about
talent.
like those bridesmaids thinking, like, ugh, I hope I would never hire those people. I don't want them to do that at my wedding.
Yeah, seriously.
You know? And, like, I'm not saying, like, oh, the bridesmaids dance, they do the champagne pour, they do a bad cheers. Mm-hmm. I might say, hey, guys, can you do that one more time? That's one thing. It's like you take a little, like, little asks here and there,
Yeah.
or, like, but, like, I'm reading the room, I'm determining, like, they're celebrating right now. People don't mind doing cheers twice. That doesn't affect anyone.
Yep.
But if you literally stopped them in the middle of their cheers or curated every moment throughout the day, it's like, I'm not getting anything out of these people that they would have naturally done. Yeah. And I think that's why Jared and myself have kind of landed on the style we have, which is we've been to enough weddings to know that we don't want people to not be themselves. Mm-hmm. And they don't want us to make them not be themselves.
Yeah.
And there are some people that are extremely uncomfortable with it.
I mean, I can't tell you how many people, and I'm talking to hundreds of people every year on consultations, like probably 500 consultations a year is how many I'm doing, roughly. Yeah. Maybe 400, somewhere around there.
Give or take.
A lot more than probably most, which is, fine. I think the majority, when I tell them this is what we do and how we try to interact, they're like, that's exactly what we're looking for. Versus, I don't think I've ever had someone say, oh, we're looking for someone who's more editorial style. I don't think I've had one person say that to me.
I have never had a person say that. I've had people who I can tell it's important to them, but it is authentic to them. This is the key thing, is, like, every time, like, I try to look at a bride's Instagram come shooting. Can't always, but sometimes. You can tell just by looking at how they present themselves, how they want to be covered.
Sure.
And like most people, most of our couples are like down on Cape, and they're just on the boat with their friends, or they 27 pictures. I would say majority of the women we shoot, it's 50% dog photos. You know, things like that just are important to them. It's like, it's not like
family
selfie,
anniversary dinners, like
them out with their girlfriends wearing almost no clothes. Like that, we don't have a lot of those people.
Yeah.
And if you look and you see that they are, you know, like, okay, this is authentic to them. Like I'm their cell phone for the day. So I don't feel that that's even really that out of the ordinary for anybody, because I'm still not doing what I would do.
Right.
I'm doing what they want. And I think like that's really our kind of whole philosophy is like whatever, we're just mirroring the energy of our couples.
Yeah. And I do think there's the two different aspects. There's the shooting side. Are you doing editorial style shooting versus documentarian type shooting? And then there's also the editing style. Like, are you doing editorial style shooting or editing or documentary style editing? Like, I view our editing as almost a little bit more editorial.
I would
style.
say our editing,
it's curated. It's like we're presenting the couple in their most idealized version of themselves. And versus someone like, I love Tristan from Astoria Weddings. Like, his is a little bit more, he's documenting, but he's also doing a little bit of like editorial style shooting where it's like Wes Anderson-y, you know, like setting some stuff up and doing, you know, grabs. And then in post, it's almost like full documentarian. Like, it's like he's not trying to like do all this posy kind of stuff. We're a little bit more curated.
I would say that like that's like
kind of stuff.
To me, the modern luxury thing is documentary style coverage, editorial style editing.
Yes. That's what your high-end filmmakers are doing.
Because everything is polished. Nobody wants to be seen and they're not best light. Everyone wants to be seen as beautiful, but they also don't want to have to. One way to say editorial would be, how much are you asking a couple to directly participate in the creation of their film? We ask them to participate very little, but we still try to create a very polished product. That's our style. And like you might find yourself in all different ranges of that. One thing I will say, while we're just not to gloss over something, reality TV style filmmaking is not documentary. Yeah. It is the most
ugly stepchild of wedding filmmaking.
It is not editorial either. It is just its own thing. I have no shade towards the people who are doing it. I don't care if you're selling and you're making money and people want it, whatever. But I will say to people who are listening, if you think, I remember someone saying, hey, do you think Justin Porter is going to take over the industry? People are going to want, and I was like, no. No, and it's not like Justin Porter does his own Justin Porter thing.
It lives and dies with him, guys. If you want to do Justin Porter, good luck. You'll have the shortest career of all time.
Yeah, Justin Porter is selling Justin Porter.
Yes.
And if people want that, and there's a small amount of couples that want that, and I'm sure whatever, they're mostly all going to be met by Justin Porter. Or maybe a small handful of people who are going to be asking for like a reality style thing. I don't really view that as a valid industry path.
I think reality TV shows are going out of style. Why would you want to do a style that's going out of style? Like, people don't like watching reality TV anymore.
Well, and also maybe they do, but also I don't think
maybe they do, but they don't.
They don't want to participate in it though.
No, on a
it's
wedding.
It's the opposite of it's neither elegant or authentic.
Yeah, it takes so much more than even editorial style shooting. Like, so when people are like, "Oh, documentary style," I'm like, what do you like? Clearly, don't know what you're talking about. Like, if you're defining Justin Porter's style of like reality TV show shooting, which is not documentary at all. Like, it's actually the most scripted thing you could ever do.
Forget about the script, though. It's like, in order to produce that, everyone is wearing a mic with time code. You have a bunch of people walking around with steady cams. You're
interviewing people. You're lighting the set.
You have headsets.
Yes.
Like, you are basically just making a television product.
Yep.
And I don't think I don't think it's beautiful, so I don't think girls are going to want it. And I don't think it's authentic, so I don't think people are going to want it. So I just think like, and it's not, again, I'm not trying to throw shade at someone. I'm just saying like, if you're listening to this and you're like thinking that that's what we mean.
Yeah, no.
We don't mean that.
No.
We don't like, I don't think you should try to do that. If you already are doing it and you're making money, then keep doing that. But I will say, when it goes out of style, you might be in trouble. And I think our
and it's
style,
also not luxury.
It's not luxury.
So if you're going to try to make more money doing it, like
it's going to cap you.
It requires a lot of money because it requires a lot of gear. It requires a lot of crew. So it takes a lot of money to produce up front, right? The people who want that are not Jeff Bezos. They're not, and then just downward.
They're not even bankers or like.
Imagine showing up to do that product with a high-end planner. They're going to laugh at you.
No, they're going to be pissed.
They're going to be ticked at you. You're never going to get hired again. They're going to talk so much shit about you. This videographer showed up and he did this.
I've heard
and
people
this and this. You won't work in that crowd. Ever.
I have heard people, planners, crap talk people for wearing steady cams.
Yes.
Not even doing anything else but wearing a steady cam.
Right.
Like high end
Good
luxury
luck, guys.
luxury photo and video, like photos and planners don't want your presence to be that big on the wedding day.
Yep.
And most couples don't either.
Yeah.
And like we're just telling you, we sell a lot of weddings, and one of the reasons we sell them is we're easy to work with, and we have a small footprint, and we make minimal impact on the day.
Yep.
And I think to us, that's really the essence of shooting documentary style is minimal impact. Like on the day, like it's even why when I tell couples like, hey, I leave 30 minutes, I get to the ceremony 30 minutes early. The reason is I don't want guests to see me setting my tripods up to the best of my ability. I'm not going to freak about it if it happens, but I don't even want the guests to know that I'm there.
Right.
Because I want everyone there to be fully immersed.
Yep.
And I think like this is why we sell what we sell and why we do what we do. And if you look at our films and like, you know what I want to encourage you to do? If you're listening to this show, go look at our work. Tell me if you think it looks bad. If you think it looks bad and not editorial enough and not beautiful enough, and we don't have good shots of couples and doing things, I mean, I don't think you're full of it, but I don't think you would look at that and think that. I think you would look at it and be like, oh, that's pretty. Mm-hmm. We just did one with Tara Gerard, and it popping off. It's doing really well, and she's like an amazing planner. And this is the other side about documentary is like you're working with great artists.
Yeah.
You don't need to be the only artist. Mm-hmm. You just have to show their work. Mm-hmm. Great florists, great photographers who know how to pose, great planners who know how to create experiences for couples. I don't need to do anything. Mm-hmm. I just point. I just got to be on time with the schedule. And we go there, we shoot. And I looked at the reel and I was like, it's this beautiful private estate wedding. It's gorgeous, Jared. I mean, you saw it. And I was like looking at the shots of the couple. Not a single one of them, I think, was posed.
Not a single one was during a quote-unquote portrait session.
I think 2 of them were. But not really. There was like the shot of the girl standing with her, like the bride standing with a little girl.
Okay.
I'm assuming that the couple said, like the photographer said, oh, go stand with her.
Sure.
But we didn't pose it.
Yeah.
We didn't. We just kind of shot it in an editorial way.
But then also, when people think of portraits, they think of the couple together kissing or doing some kind of nuzzling or something. Like
to me, portraits just mean a photo that was directed.
That shot with a little girl who's probably, very close to the bride, like that's a meaningful shot in that it's including a family member. Like there's more meaning to it than just a simple like couples together.
But like I can think of 3 moments where people have mentioned a bride doing something. I remember one where it was for Hannah. Do you remember? Hannah, Always Yours. We shot her wedding.
Oh yeah.
And Hannah Pond is it Pond now?
Pond. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what her original name was, but Hannah is there and she's on the dance floor. She looks at someone and goes like, she's like to her friend or something. Mm-hmm. We put that in there over a part in the song where they said something about like heart. And I was like, oh yeah, let's do that. She says heart. Another one, we were shooting, who was it? Was it Meredith? Was her name? The one we did with the conservatory tent.
Okay.
And she's standing there and they were like posed and the bride was uncomfortable. So she goes like, and makes like a goofy face.
Yep.
And like the bride and the groom's like laughing, like, you silly, like this is funny. And even in the one we just did, we're driving and the bride is in the car and you could tell she looked around her shoulder and winks
Yeah.
at someone else. These are not things we directed.
No.
They're people just being themselves.
Yep.
And they're high impact.
Yeah. Yeah. Because of the authenticity of them, right? It's like that is them through and through being themselves.
Oh yeah,
which
Hannah.
is like
That's
so
Hannah's
much
personality.
More,
like
so
right
much
there.
more powerful, dude, than like anything that I could tell a model to do, especially telling just a normal couple to do. Like them being themselves is what it's all about. And you know, I always say to the team and to our clientele, I'm like, we are trying to be good listeners with our camera lenses. Like we are listening, we're shooting,
Yes.
relentlessly, maybe more than most even. Like we're just covering like people talking. So when those moments do happen, hey, we have it on camera. Like I'm not just shooting when I have a stage shot set up. Like I'm looking around for moments. I'm trying to just blend into the background. I'm seeing two random people that look strange kind of talking to each other from different sides of the family, because that's going to be interesting to a couple. Like, oh, Uncle Jerry is talking to like Aunt Faye on the other side. They're wackos. Like that is fun. Like that is cool to see them talking.
I was
together.
at a wedding, the one I shot last week, and I was just standing around, you know, because it's like, you know, you do this. Don't get me wrong. Like there are things we shoot where you're like, you just have to shoot them, and like, you know, they're not super real or authentic, but you never know. Something cool could happen, so you're shooting. So, you know, they did the dance, and then they took like that break after like the opening dance floor session that some weddings do. And they're still playing like slow music. You know that part in weddings where like they start playing slow music and some people like right before the salads come out and a couple old people go on the dance floor and dance.
Yep.
And, you know, so I shot a little bit of that, but it's usually kind of like bad looking and nothing that great. But then I walked to the edge of the tent and I looked outside. And this is what I'll tell everybody. Like, be a looker. Like, never look, and don't keep your eyes where everyone else's cameras are.
Yep.
Look around the room, what people aren't shooting. And
It's not just the action, it's the reaction.
And I remember looking outside the tent, and I saw a couple standing outside of the tent with a beautiful background, by the way, so that's nice, in natural light, so that's nice, all these things. The sun had just come out for the first time of the day, so that's nice. And they were dancing, an old couple dancing outside of the tent by themselves because they didn't want to be in the hot tent or something like that. And the old married couple dancing outside the tent. And you know, I'm not saying it's this great shot or whatever, but I'm saying like, I think this is just my values.
Yeah. And to translate it over to like photography, right? I think the best wedding photographers out there that have stood the test of time, John Dolan is one of them. They're lookers. They just look for the moments. Like you look at their portfolio and it's all moments like that.
Jose shoots a lot more like that than people realize too.
Yeah, he does. He does. He really,
especially his style has evolved.
He developed a name for himself as being like, the film guy, but it was like posy kind of stuff. But if you read his book, which I did early on, it's all about getting people to interact with each other in a natural way. Like, and he does more and more of that now.
Well, and he
just,
wouldn't
like,
be
looking.
working luxury weddings if he didn't shoot like that. That's my opinion. If he needed control, he wouldn't be working the weddings he is. And I just want to.
There's a level of control I think he has, but it's not as much as people think.
I think it's probably some weddings, none, and he's probably fine with that. I can tell you this. Just I don't know him super well, but the couple times I've met Jose Villa, he's very gracious. I cannot imagine Jose Villa. Actually, and I've heard him speaking like a little while ago, and he was pretty obvious. He was actually really overt to say this, which is if a couple is not interested in these things, he just doesn't do it.
Right.
Like he is taking his, like if you're shooting a celebrity and they don't just want, they need certain poses for publishing. So I think a lot of people misunderstand that. Look at celebrity weddings and they're like, oh, that's what these celebrities want and everyone would want. But the celebrity's like, man, we got to do this crap because I got to get something to Vogue.
Yep.
Your couples are not getting, it's not a product.
Right.
The wedding is not a product. It's just a wedding. And I don't think Jose Villa would force a couple to do something or a bride to do something so that he could be like, well, how am I supposed to deliver a collection then? And that's kind of what you hear. And I would just,
right. Yeah.
I would say this to people. First of all, it sounds like we're really down on like editorial style shooting.
You're right. You're right. We are down on it.
I'm not down on it. I wish I could. I wish I could bring lights. I wish I could do all these things.
Sure.
I would enjoy it a lot.
You wish you could have complete control over the day and everyone would just have to bow to your wishes?
Sure.
That's crazy.
Sure. I'm just saying, like, I don't care. I don't think it's bad to like, do something a little more stylized or whatever.
Well, yeah.
We just choose not to do it because it doesn't work. And what I think we're really saying is, like, if you want to, like, if you're listening to this and you're new in the industry, don't fall for the smoke show. It's all smoke and mirrors. Don't assume that a lot of people have this massive control and that's how they got those shots either. Because a lot of people got those shots just because they're good.
Right.
And they listen and they're attentive.
I think that's a little bit of the lie. If you're like a newer filmmaker and you're listening to this podcast, you're like, I want to elevate, I want to do better. Just understand the way that you get better and is by getting more work and getting better work and gradually working your way up. And that doesn't happen necessarily by having complete control of the day.
Anything that reduces trust with industry partners is why you won't elevate.
Yeah. You get trust from industry partners by just being easy to work with and by creating good you still have to create a good product. That's like goes without saying. But I think there's a lie of like, oh, that person became who they are because of all their elopement work or whatever. Like, and there are certain people that are like that, but certain people that are working in elopements, they do have complete control. That I think that's the appeal of like elopement stuff. But just know, like, those people are hired really to only do elopements. Like, if you're an elopement person and you made your name on that, I don't see a lot of those people translating over into luxury weddings, high-end weddings even. They do a very specific niche thing.
Yeah,
right?
and maybe you have a niche. That's why I was trying to be clear. Like, if you're listening to this and you are very editorial and you make a living on it, and that's what your couples expect, then you probably got to keep doing that. You know, that's your brand.
Sure.
And that's what you know.
Yep. And honestly, I have no problem with that. I think what we're talking about weddings, right? We're talking about like the wedding world. We're talking about like production and events.
Yes.
Like the majority of
and
weddings
also,
out there.
I think we're saying something which I think have earned the right to say, which is most people don't want that. Mm-hmm.
As much as all these magazines try to say like, oh, the micro wedding and the
okay, well, let's talk about micro weddings.
They're coming back, and I'm like,
no, they're not.
Bullshit. They're not coming back. It's a lie. It's not true. Don't base your business around it. Don't try to create an editorial style brand just because you won't be able to survive as just an elopement wedding videographer.
What are those people?
Unless you're like one or two people.
Yeah. Magazines are all about just having to say something different all the time so they have a reason to publish a new episode, a new magazine.
It's a lie. It doesn't exist.
A new blog, a new whatever. Like, you don't need that stuff. Mm-hmm. And this is just my philosophy.
Yeah. They've been saying this for 5 years now, dude. I saw a magazine article about it recently, and I'm like, these people are full of crap. Do these people even know anything about weddings?
No.
They don't.
No, like Brides Magazine, I'm not convinced those people know anything about weddings.
No.
Like Martha's Weddings, these people know nothing. Like, I wish we could shoot these people into the moon. Like, they're the worst. They're destroying our, like, profession. They're a net negative at this point.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. We don't need him. No one needs you people. Like, brides don't need you. We don't need you. We can self-publish on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, you guys can go just shut your mouth. Go talk to David's Bridal. Like, whatever. Like, that. The only people that need those magazines are David's Bridal.
Yeah.
Or Vera Wang. Or these companies that need somebody to advertise with.
Yeah.
But the second people realize, and even those companies are like, we can literally have New York Fashion Week and hire Payne Frank to shoot for us. And then she'll make a piece for our dress company, and that will do just as well, and actually produce a direct connection to the consumer. I think there is an issue with not having a tastemaker in our industry, and that's kind of unfortunate because the magazines used to like kind of create homogeny. We all kind of knew what to expect, but that's a whole other topic. But in terms of like what couples want is really what I'm saying in terms of what a wedding was like or what a trend is like. I know more than them.
Couples will always value having their family there, not just immediate family, extended family. And until you get people to not care about that, you're not going to get the micro wedding to take off. Sorry, guys. Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're going to have a micro wedding where we don't include our grandma.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like think about that micro wedding in the middle of Iceland with
and they happen.
They
right?
do happen.
They do happen, but it's not going to have mass appeal.
No.
Like the majority of people in their heads think they might want a micro wedding because they're like, less money, I can hire a better filmmaker, better photographer, more floral budget, whatever.
And it's more like a vacation that I get married on.
Then realistically, they go, well, that would mean I can't invite all these people I love. I'll have a bad reputation in my family. It's just not worth it to them.
These two weddings, not last week, but the week before, and this one I'm doing this week, could not do it because both their parents have dementia. Mm-hmm. This is what makes these weddings worth covering, guys, is when this person gives this footage, and the dad had a good night the night before and a really bad day the wedding day because it was too hot. Mm-hmm. And he walked her down the aisle in the rehearsal dinner, and he couldn't do it on the wedding day. Mm-hmm. Rehearsal dinner, he's like on stage singing happy birthday. Mm-hmm. Next day, he's sitting on the ground. He's incoherent. Mm-hmm. That is what will make that film valuable. Mm-hmm. Those people are always going to want to buy that, and they're always going to watch it. And there's millions of people like that, with family members like that, with situations like that. That is what, this isn't just about human. It is moral. It is good. It is all that stuff. But it's also financial. And if you are trying to have a career in this and you don't understand that what your job is and what people are paying for is to preserve their family memories, and you think it's because it's like they want to participate in your perfume commercial, they don't. That is not a viable financial thing to find enough brides who don't have a good relationship with their family or don't care about them, don't care if they're happy, and want to pose and be sexy on camera on their wedding day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's just not enough of those people.
My question would just be like, at the end of the day, is that really the person you want to be working with? All you authentic people out there, like, is that really the person? Like, everyone's like, the right client. What's your ideal client? Is that client your ideal client? A person like that's so vain.
But maybe it is. There's still not enough. Maybe it is. But the thing is, there's still not enough of them.
But like, right, totally. But like, all the people that are like, oh, I'm in it for like all these reasons, like high-minded reasons. It's like, that's your ideal client then. The Miami person who just wants shots of themselves and they don't care about their family. Like, that's a weird person. I have no interest in working with that person at the end of the day.
Sure, but maybe if you do, but you're still going to have to suck it up from time to time and just shoot a family. That's what I'm saying. Is learn to make a product that actually can be made at every wedding.
Yep.
Like, and like, or you're going to be keep competing with like 10 filmmakers for every job. Mm-hmm. And some of them are better than you.
Yep.
And it's like, our podcast is about helping the industry become mature and grow up a little bit, and helping a bunch of people actually have businesses that make sense, and helping us beat bottom feeder big companies that suck, that I wish would just be destroyed. Yep. And the people I want to destroy them are you people listening. You're our army. You're I want wedding filmmaking to be seen as a must-have at every wedding. Mm-hmm. If we don't change this about how we can approach wedding days, we will not become a staple. Because we're essentially saying like if 50% of the work, and it starts with like the people you look up to. If you don't look up to professionals who are covering weddings like in a way that families want them to be covered and reward that kind of coverage, and we only look up to people, and I don't have a problem with because I think they're very clear. This is our niche, Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice has a niche. They do a very specific thing. But they're like posing people in these very unnatural poses, making the couples all do dances. They're large. They have the whole wedding party involved. They're lighting them. The whole thing is like a living portrait, essentially. And it's this big thing. That's cool. Just know they've already got that market. The market doesn't need more Fire and Ice. It needs more people who just know how to show up at any wedding and make something beautiful. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. It's like, we don't need more niche people. We need more good people.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, because even you think about someone like them who are doing something very unique, and, it's not my
They do
cup of
other
tea.
stuff too, by the way. That's not the only part of what they do.
It's very cool for wedding filmmakers to look at. It hasn't translated to couples wanting it more.
No. Have you ever asked a couple, said, "Oh, can you do this fire and ice thing"? Has
I've never had a couple be like, "Hey, we saw this one videographer who did this really unique thing. Can you do that?" It just
About
doesn't-
anything. Have you
doesn't
ever had a couple
translate.
ever ask you about that?
No,
about
the only
anything?
time people have said, shown us other work is when they're like, "Hey, we saw this film. Can you do a film like that?" And I'm always like, "Have you seen our work? Our work is better than theirs." Like, but they just like that film, and they're like, "Can it be like that?" It's not because of any specific style choice or music choice, like whatever. It's just because they liked the film. They're like, "Can you do something like that?" I'm like, "Well,
Or a
we'll
song
do it.
in the film.
We'll
or-
do it like our way of that, I guess." Like, it's just the same stuff, voiceover, like blah, 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 same ingredients.
I just saw a film, Jared, where this girl was rolling around in her underwear. Could you film me rolling around in my underwear too? Like no one,
No.
like oh, I really love the eye contact that bride made.
Yeah.
With the camera. Can I make some of that eye contact?
Yeah,
Like what you do here all the time is like,
you know what though? One person did say Sharon's work one time, and I was like, I can't do that. I can't do Sharon's work. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm gonna make a film. I'll do it like ours is.
there's big value, by the way, if you're listening to this and you believe in yourself and you are really good.
Yep.
There's a huge value in carving your own path
Sure.
in the industry, and so like I'm not.
So
saying,
everyone listening is gonna imagine that being them, and they're
Of
gonna
course.
go out and they're gonna try to create a niche, and it's not gonna work.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I'm just saying in general, if I was to like sit down with my son and say, "Son, you want to be a filmmaker? Here's my advice to you. Make something that most people want."
Yes.
It's not that complicated.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the other aspect is like when you are creating something that most people want, it then gives you the opportunity to branch out more. I would say start simple. Start with something being easy to work with, get out there, and then you can say like, "Hey, this is my thing." It's much easier to do it that way than starting off, getting people to buy into your weird artistic thing, and then producing it and being like, having other people be like, see it, first of all, get it in front of people, and then having people be like, "I want that for my wedding film." Like, I think that's a much harder path. So if you're just,
I mean, if you
starting
don't need to
out,
make
like,
any money and you just don't care and it's just a side gig, I mean, whatever. But like in general, like I can promise you, if you just make something most people want in a skillful way, that you will have takers.
yeah,
Like, and I would say, like, if you're looking to tweak, I would say like tweak in the edit.
yeah. The last thing I would say is like, I think most people think of like documentarian style wedding films almost like as a total sellout, right? Like,
Or just not at all, but yeah.
I think so. I think people see editorial as elevated, like going after your style.
I think they
or
definitely
whatever.
think editorial is more luxury.
Maybe,
I think like most people who don't really
Yeah,
know the
probably.
luxury industry are like, oh, luxury films. It's like
right?
editorial. And
Right.
Anyway, yeah.
They think of documenting as like, oh, you do that way because you don't know how to pose or something.
I think they just think documentary is handheld. I think that's what like if you were to
Eh,
or in lots of audio.
maybe.
That's what I think.
Editorial though is a lot of handheld. Like, so what
Well,
are
they don't know
talking
any,
about?
but they don't know anything.
Yeah.
Like that's my point. Is like
I know.
most people don't know anything. But, anyway.
But they think of it as elevated because it's working with a couple. It takes more. It takes more of the artist
more skill.
in their mind, more skill to make something that's very modelly editorial style. I think it's actually way harder to find good documentarian moments. Like, it's easier to just stay in the background and snipe, right? Like, to just shoot whatever. But being able to find the moments and then cull through it and use them effectively in a film, I think that's a lot harder.
I think the very hardest thing, and I want to toot our own horn a little bit, because I think we're exceptionally good wedding filmmakers, because I think we have found a way to make something beautiful and editorially viable without having a huge presence on the wedding day, and that is the most skilled filmmakers to me. Now, as I'm more mature in how I watch films, I will watch a film all the time, and people are like, "You're just sour grapes," and I'm like, "No, I'm not." And I'll watch a film, and I'm like, "That's not a real wedding. I would never be able to get away with that, or I would never do that." And it's like, yeah, you want to get a good shot, stand directly in front of the couple in the middle of the ceremony. That'll be a great shot.
Yeah.
I would never do it.
Right.
I would never do that. I don't want to be perceived that way.
Right.
I don't want the couple to feel that way. I know the best filmmakers to me now are people that, the reason why I always bring up LaRev is because I've watched Lindsay and Cherish in action, and I've seen their films, and I know they get to do some kind of interesting stuff now where they're working with couples ahead of time and certain things. But in general, on a wedding day, they can make a great film just by showing up. Those are the best filmmakers. Whatever's happening, they're going to make it beautiful. They're going to make it feel high-end and luxurious no matter what.
Yep.
Even if it's a golf course or a backyard wedding.
Yep.
And I think that is what we should all be striving for, is to be able to make something beautiful for our couples no matter what. And if there's a limiting factor, I think you have a limiting, I think your filmmaking needs to develop and grow. And if you can't make a good film without good editorial content, I think that's a bad business thing for you, but it's also a lack of skill. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would agree. I would agree with you that just because posing is not the hardest thing you could do on a wedding day. To be honest, the hardest thing you could do is capture any of the events at a wedding day in a beautiful way. Ceremonies, toasts, dances, that is the hardest thing.
I think it's very hard to get people to act like themselves on a really stressful day. Giving them permission to let go and just be themselves, and then capturing that on camera, and then using that asset in a way in a wedding film. That's hard to do.
Schedule.
Because it's a weird thing. On wedding day, stressful. There's all these things
It's so intense.
There's angst to it. So how do you make people feel relaxed and be like, oh, we can do this? I think we do play a part there. We're not in complete control there, obviously, of people's emotions. But then also, you have your camera there, which is another layer of anxiety that can bring on the day. But making people feel like they can be themselves, even though you have a camera around. And then just recording enough and being able to have this peripheral vision to be able to see all these things that are happening around you and nail the moment when it actually happens. I just think it's actually very hard. It doesn't get nearly as much credit as it should.
Our style of filmmaking is if we're doing something editorial, we try to set up a moment for them to walk into. Have the right amount of coverage for them, the right angles, everything is so it looks editorial, but in reality, it was just happening. That to me is the highest level of skill in wedding filmmaking.
Yep. And a lot of it comes down to anticipation, and
organization and leadership and team management. And
who's going to be doing what at what times, how it's going to play out, how people are going to be feeling when it does play out. There's a lot of preemptive setup that you have to do, and it's just it's difficult. You have to be 2 steps ahead. Photographers just react to a lot. They're hey, this is happening.
That's why they don't care when they show up to ceremonies.
Yeah, they show up literally when the thing needs to happen.
They'll always say
pull up their camera.
well, they're not going to start without me. I'll be with the bride.
We have to do setup of audio. We have to do setup of multiple camera angles because we have to continually be recording of the whole ceremony. So there's a lot more that goes into it, and yeah, it's difficult.
So if you listen to that episode and you want to do editorial, and you're already doing it and you're making money, great. But
if you're frustrated, maybe that's a reason why.
Yes. And I would say everyone should try to find a way to make a film without good portraits. You need to. That is a necessary skill every wedding filmmaker needs to develop. Is making films with just what happened.
Right.
And then maybe if I was to build my skill set in an order, it might be working on portraits later. Maybe that's the thing you start developing. But the first thing I would try to work on is how do I A, capture the events of the day, B, capture the in-between moments, C, portraits. I would work in the exact opposite order.
Yeah. For a lot of reasons, mainly because, the photographer is already kind of directing people and you can kind of just snipe when they're working with them. So it's
you'll get that stuff.
You get that stuff either way. even without giving direct direction to your camera. But then also, like, when you're doing lower tier weddings and you're first starting out, you're doing, barn weddings and country club weddings, and just like, the people are going to give you more time because they're spending a lot more of their budget on you, and you're going to get more time.
Yeah,
to
and
kind
I
of
think
practice,
that's a big
good.
issue people run into is like when you start your career, you'll have a lot of time. If you think it's always going to be like that,
Yep.
the in my experience and with the people I know, with a few exceptions, that time gets shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yep. As you move up, you're not going to get the same window. You're not going to be invited into the room with the groom and groomsmen potentially to get those kind of shots. They might just say no, or they might not even be getting ready together. Like,
that's a thing I've noticed a lot.
I've noticed, like, guys are like, why do I have to have all my guys in my hotel room with me? That's weird. Like, you have to be ready for that.
I also find high-end weddings have smaller wedding parties.
Yeah, totally.
So
Yep.
it's like, the point is like, I'm not dependent on what my couple does to make a good film.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just from somewhat my own benefit, but also the benefit of the couple.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. So, well, guys, hopefully this has been informative and discussion. You could
Hopefully it's hurt you a little.
pass on to your
Your
wedding
emotions.
videographer friends and have conversations with them. A couple ways that you can check out what we're doing here at Wedding Film School. One is find us on YouTube, Wedding Film School. You can also find one of our other 3 channels that we have, the Wedding Film School Show, which you can find our podcast, which you're listening to right now. Also, Wedding Film 101. That is also us, where we are creating videos for beginners to learn how to film weddings. The Facebook group, Wedding Film School, is a great place where you can get connected with the community and ask questions and make friends. So, other than that, guys, hopefully you have a great week filming weddings. Good luck out there, and we'll see you next week here on the Wedding Film School Show.